It's me again with another weather update. I hope everyone had a chance to prepare for today's severe weather outbreak. As you can see here, we have multiple cells moving across Tennessee, portions of Kentucky, Arkansas, and Missouri. All of these cells are producing tornadoes right now. The Storm Prediction Center has upgraded the outlook to a moderate risk of tornadoes and a slight risk up here into Illinois, Indiana, Ohio, and Michigan. You need to get indoors, if at all possible. Get underneath something sturdy, maybe a bridge overpass, something like that. Notice that big swirling system off to the west there. That's our storm center. That's where we're going to continue to see this rotating low-pressure system cause problems. Tomorrow, we're going to see that risk of tornadoes up here in the Ohio Valley, down into the Appalachian Mountains, and then eventually over towards the Mid-Atlantic region. Again, just because you're not in the exact path, if you're not under that moderate risk, doesn't mean that you're going to be okay. You could still experience a tornado. Maybe not as strong, but still potentially damaging. So just stay tuned, ready, and stay safe. You need to have a way to communicate with your friends and family. If you don't have cell service, you need to have a NOAA Weather Radio. And if you don't have any of those things, you need to be paying attention to local news, local radio stations, anything like that. You need to have a way to receive alerts and warnings if your power goes out. And as that moves to the east, it's gone, nah. Bring forth these supercells, and we re-gone, nah. See more and more tornado potential as we go throughout the day. I'm going to do my best to keep you informed. But remember, stay informed, stay cautious, stay connected, be safe out there. I'm with the National Weather Service. We'll see you in the next one. No. 1. Stay informed. That means you need to pay attention. You need to watch the news. You need to listen to NOAA Weather Radio. You need to pay attention to these alerts as they come in. Know where you're going to go when that tornado warning is issued. If you don't live in the exact path, you still want to be weather aware. Have a plan in place. Know where you're going to go, whether that's a basement, interior room, hallway. If you don't have access to a building, if you're outside, you need to know where you're going to go. Need to know if you're at a park, if you're at school, if you're at work, wherever you might be. You need to know where you're going to go when that tornado warning comes through. I cannot stress that enough. And remember, a tornado warning is not just a threat of a tornado. That means that a tornado has been sighted or is indicated by radar. So that tornado could be less than a mile away from you. It could be less than 10 minutes away from you. You need to act immediately when that tornado warning is issued. Do not wait. This is just the beginning. This is just the start of what's going to happen. If you're outside, you need to be paying attention. Even if you don't hear the tornado, even if you don't see it, you need to be paying attention. If you hear a loud roar like a freight train, that's your cue to take cover. If you see a funnel cloud, obviously that's your cue to take cover. Sometimes tornadoes can sneak up on you. Sometimes you don't hear them coming. Sometimes you don't see them coming. So you need to be paying attention. You need to have your cell phone with you at all times. If you're outside, you need to be able to get indoors. If you're in a mobile home, you need to be able to get to a safer place. And if you can't get to a safer place, you need to be able to protect yourself. This has gone be ongoing for several hours, and we re-gone continue to monitor this for you. But just make sure that you are protected from the wind. If you're in a mobile home, you need to abandon that mobile home immediately. Get out of there and find a safer place. And if you can't find a building, if you can't find any kind of protection, you want to lay flat in a ditch. You want to lay flat in a low-lying area and protect your head. Try to protect your head with your arms. Curl up into a ball. Try to protect your face. But understand that this is a very dangerous situation, and you could still get hurt. So if you're outside, you need to seek shelter immediately. That's because these storms are moving across the Ohio Valley down into the southeast. And as they move to the east, we're going to see more tornado potential. See what their outlook is, what their forecast is. And as you can see, we do have a moderate risk of tornadoes today for portions of Tennessee, Kentucky, Arkansas, and Missouri. And that's because we are expecting multiple tornadoes today. We've already seen a couple of them, and we're going to see more of them. The HRRR model is showing a significant hatched area. That means is we're going to have multiple tornadoes, but some of these tornadoes could be strong. They could be capable of damaging buildings, uprooting trees, things like that. And that's why I'm so adamant about making sure that you guys are paying attention. That you have a plan in place, that you know where you're going to go if a tornado warning is issued. That starts off first in eastern Tennessee, then moves into the Atlanta metro area, and eventually spreads out from there. So make sure you stay tuned and continue to pay attention to these warnings as they come through. Right now, there are multiple tornadoes on the ground, and we continue to see that potential for tornadoes over the next several hours. As you can see, we do have a tornado warning here in portions of Middle Tennessee. You need to stay alert, and you need to know where you go when that tornado warning comes through. If you don't live in the exact path of the tornado, you still want to be cautious. You could still experience some brief but very intense winds, maybe some hail, maybe even a brief weak tornado. So just make sure you're paying attention. If you do live in the exact path of the tornado, this is where things get really serious. You want to make sure that you are in the safest part of your house, whether that's in a basement, interior room, hallway. You want to be away from windows, you want to be away from doors, anything like that. You want to protect yourself from flying debris. Make sure you have a helmet nearby, maybe even some work gloves, and you want to make sure that you stay put until that tornado has passed. Don't try to ride it out outside. It is extremely dangerous. Even if you think that it's going to pass you by, you could still get caught up in that spinning wall of awfulness. And believe me, I have seen far too many people get hurt doing that. So please stay inside and stay safe. That means that radar or storm spotters have actually seen a tornado. This is not just a threat of a tornado. A tornado has been sighted in this area. Also have tornado warnings here in Arkansas and a little bit of Missouri. Same thing. These are not just threats of a tornado. Tornado has either been sighted or indicated by radar. And then, of course, we're also watching this one up here into Illinois. This includes Chicago and Rockford, all the way up into Wisconsin, and even into the UP of Michigan. First things first, let's take a look at the radar. So let's go ahead and break down some of those warnings here. So what does this mean for you? Well, the main thing is that you need to stay vigilant. If you're watching this video and you're outside, if you don't have access to a building, if you're out walking, driving, whatever you're doing, I need you to drop what you're doing right now and find shelter immediately. Let's check back in with the radar here and see what we're looking at. Let's check in with the SPC here, the Storm Prediction Center. We're not just done after this. We're going to continue to see that risk move to the east. Okay, so let's talk about what you should do to stay safe. No, to stay cautious. You need to be careful. No. 3, stay connected. So I'm going to continue to update you as we go throughout the day.